cuffs are off, man.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I get.
What up? What up? What up, world? Welcome back to the Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm Mike Herrick, aka Classic Mike, and this is our Week 7 Active and Inactive Sunday morning show. I'm going to be going over some of the news and notes since our Friday show. Also giving you some updates on the rainy, gross Rams versus Jaguars in England, which is currently 21-0 Rams up with Devontae Adams 2 touchdowns so far, and going over the actives and inactives at 11:30, as well as answering some of your last second start sit questions leading up to game time. So I'm going to start off with some news and notes to kind of get us going. Jacoby Brissett, he will be starting for the Arizona Cardinals today versus the Packers. Kyle Murray is going to be sitting another week. Mbuka and Mike Evans, they're both listed as questionable currently. Both are considered game time, but based on the reports, it looks like Evans is much closer to playing than Mbuka. But I really, they keep saying that there's a good chance that he can play next week for Mbuka. So we'll wait and see. These games are at Monday night, so we won't know until then. There hasn't been any indication up till even leading up to today that has shown that they will play. But it looks like Evans is more likely to play, but he is a game time decision, and so is Mbuka. Christian Kirk, he was added late Friday with a hamstring injury. He's been ruled out as of Saturday. Jalen Coker and George Kittle both have been activated off of IR. Reports say that Kittle's, he's not going to be limited from what we keep hearing. It's still one of those things where I'm a little questionable. Hamstrings are hard to come back from and, can be re-aggravated real easy. So you might want to be cautious when it comes to Kittle. Jacoby Myers, he's listed as questionable. He's currently on the field warming up from the reports I keep seeing. He was a true game time decision. But they did bring up a wide receiver from the practice squad, which could indicate that he's out, but we'll wait and see how that turns out. And we'll know that in about a half hour. Packers also elevated Pierre Strong, running back, from their practice squad, which could also indicate that Josh Jacobs is in jeopardy. Josh Jacobs has been dealing with an illness/calf that came up on Friday. He did practice in full on Friday. The Packers also had a little bit of trouble getting to the game yesterday. They were on the tarmac for almost 5 hours waiting for their plane to take off. They had engine trouble and all that, but they are there currently. If you are in the boat of having Josh Jacobs, I would strongly have somebody. They have said he is a true game time decision. This game is at 4:00. You want to make sure that you have Emmanuel Wilson or Chris Brooks. Those are the two that I think are going to be involved. Wilson will probably get the start. Brooks is a little bit more involved in the passing game, but get those guys in your lineup or, on your bench so that you can at least switch them out. Or if you have someone reliable on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, those are going to be your best bet. In one league, I have Josh Jacobs. I do have Sterling Shepard. Not the best start, but, if I have to wait, I'd rather have, somebody that I can rely on so that I can at least hope and pray that happens. You won't find out until about 2:30, 3 o'clock until that's the case, but just be aware of that. Deebo Samuel was ruled out yesterday. Looks like Washington will be without Debo, Terry, and Noah Brown. This leaves them with Luke McCaffrey, Chris Moore, and Jalen Lane. As well as right now, Zach Ertz, he will be available. He's banged up with a shoulder and calf injury. He's listed as questionable. All signs are pointing to him starting. So there, every report I've seen from Ian or Adam, they both expect him to play today. Remember, this matchup's at 4:00 as well. A lot more injuries in the 4:00 than the 1:00. So we'll have to wait and see, but definitely make sure that you have some type of backup plan just in case. DeAndre Swift, he is expected to play today. He was dealing with a groin injury, and like I said, they did bring up Travis Homer as a practice squad guy, so just be aware of that. But it looks like he should be good to go. Stephon Diggs, he is questionable for Sunday's game with a chest injury. He's expected to play versus the Titans. And then also Carson Wentz is going to be starting today. And honestly, it might be the case for a little bit. It looks like J.J. McCarthy's injury is close to about 6 weeks or more. So for now, it looks like Carson Wentz will be the guy. All righty. So make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. I'm in here for you guys today. I know the game's on, so I know that I'll get a little less interaction, which is okay. And it kind of expected. They're still in the halftime. So we will wait and see when that comes up. It should be coming up shortly, to be quite honest. But I'm here for you guys. I'm here to answer any of your questions. I will not be here next Sunday. I'll be upstate. My dad passed away back in June, and we are doing a nice ceremony for him upstate where he used to live as a child. So spreading his ashes up there and, having a good time with the family. So we will not be here on Sunday. I'll be here on Friday, though. Well, maybe. We'll see. I have to be up really early on Saturday, so we'll see how I am on Friday. But otherwise, we are here. We will be back tomorrow. Frank will be doing our waiver ads and overreaction show. Phil will be here doing dynasty picks and doing all types of stuff. He was here on Friday helping me out with our start sit questions, and then Frank will be back to help you with your roster management on Wednesday and then back on Friday. So check us out if you haven't already. If you're new to the show, I'm here to answer your questions. I currently have nothing in there, so I can't really answer any questions for anybody. Looking at the games that we have, a couple other little just notable things going on. There's some really bad weather out in Chicago and Cleveland. Just getting some news now. Mike Evans is likely to play, and Buka has a real chance to play. Interesting. But unfortunately, this won't be noted until game time. I really hope they don't play him. I hope they don't play him, Buka. The last thing we want is for him to re-injure something. I'm assuming he'll be a little more limited than Evans, because Evans is a little bit, farther ahead. It's good to be young. That's probably why he's been not that hurt. So at this point, we'll wait and see, but it looks like it's more likely, a real chance to play. I'm not playing him if I have him. I'm just too kid's fantastic, not taken away from the talent. It's the him re-aggravating something, something going wrong. Like, I don't want to be, I don't want to have that 0 on the board if, God forbid he's out for one play and is like, nope, I'm not playing. I'd rather have somebody else. Especially that it's a Monday night game, a Monday night game. I'd rather have somebody that I know is going to be getting me points, even if it's a little, more than that. So what up, Smokey? How you doing, brother? Great to have you here. They're just about to kick off in the Rams-Jaguars games. I believe the Jaguars are getting. So Smokey goes, play Emmanuel Lewis over Henderson if Jacobs is out. Also, who would you drop for rest of season? This is gross. I mean, not gross. Those are great options. Emmanuel Lewis over Henderson if Jacoby's out. Henderson plays at, I thought Henderson plays at 1. Yeah, he plays at 1. I might be more willing to play Henderson over Wilson just because I don't know what's going to happen. Both games are okay. The point totals are relatively gross. I would probably play Henderson just because I know that he's at least involved in the offense in one way or another. I just don't. I can't trust a situation where I don't know if he will play. New England's using him at least in the passing game and using him in general. I mean, he's currently let's see the snap shares. He's currently getting at least. Well, I hate when they use. They never do they always give me the count. They never give me the percentage, and then I have to redo it. Rams get the ball. Williams running the ball well so far, but they've been passing a lot throughout the game. So Henderson's been getting at least 30% of the snaps the last, since the start. He hasn't gone above 50, which isn't horrible. With Antonio Gibson, he's definitely going to see more run in general. I like Henderson a little bit more than Wilson, so I'm going to have to go with that. If I'm dropping somebody and I want to play somebody rest of the season out of those, I mean, Fannin and Taylor are just they're young rookies compared to a guy like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts isn't really being used in their passing game, which is sad. Like he's getting looks, but he's not getting what he should. I would probably be dropping Pitts out of this group, even though I hate it. I mean, Fannin has Njoku to deal with. Mason has nobody at this point. Kyle is dealing with the Bijan treatment. I mean, it's just how it is. I mean, if you have a stud like Bijan, it's kind of hard to not use him. It's just go now. Oh, come on. Give it to Winnington once in a while. That would be nice. Adams with another catch for a first down. Looks like he'll get that. I don't think there was holding. I think it was pass interference. Yeah, holding on the defense. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with dropping Pitts. You already have two. There's no point in having the three of them. And I can't think of a situation where you're going to play both. This is the best week to play both, for sure. So like I was saying before, there is some bad weather out in Chicago and in Cleveland. It looks like the weather is going to clear up a little bit for the Chicago. Oh, it's holding on the Rams. Oh, penalties offset. Okay. There's bad weather in both Cleveland and Chicago. The Chicago weather is supposed to clear up before the Cleveland weather. Cleveland's weather is more rain and heavy gusts, like really strong 30-mile-an-hour gusts. The stadium, if you've ever been there, has a really good high barrier. So it's not like it's not going to be crazy, but it's going to be whipping around in there. It's been said that it's kind of like Meadowlands, where it has a good swirl to it. It's going to suck for the kickers. So I'm not telling you to play any of the kickers in either one of those games. So it's not happening. No problem, brother. That's how I feel about it. I mean, hopefully you feel, close to the same. Mason Taylor would probably be the second of the group if I'm going to get rid of the one of the two. Sorry, big third down. They missed it. Jaguars definitely feeling the loss of Devin Lloyd today. And then the Cleveland Browns game, not the Cleveland Browns, the Bears game. Bears game is going to be very windy. Windy City, it's just how it is. But it's going to be windy. There's going to have some big gusts. It should calm down closer to game time. They said that all the bad weather and stuff is going to be prior to game. Still going to make the field gross. Still going to make the situation a little bit slippery, a little bit, unpredictable. And it's going to make it where the passing game is going to stay low. They're going to stay within the 5 to 10 yards. They're not going to go deep on a lot of plays. It's going to limit some of the things that like guys like Shaheed or speedsters on on the Bears like Luther Burden, things like that, might really kind of take a hit today, just because I don't think they're going to want to whip the ball downfield. Makes it harder to gauge. I was playing the other day. I know it's softball, but I was playing softball the other day, and guys would just hit it straight up in the air, because honestly, the best option was to do that, because it would go from straight and then it would move like 50 yards to the right. So I know it's, like I said, it's softball, different type of ball, lighter, all that stuff, but a bigger ball with more wind, it can affect that ball a lot. So I would think that everything's going to be a little bit more underneath. There's going to be a lot of screen throws, a lot of short passes, a lot of flat, passes and things like that. So I would assume that that's going to be the kind of game plan, and running the ball, which they did a lot on Monday night with Swift. They're going to have to involve, Kendre Miller on the Saints. They're going to have to, and then the other game, you need to start Quinston Junkins. The guy is, one, he's good. Two, it's just the best matchup against running backs. You can't ignore that. A-Chain is going to have a rough day in general, but they're going to try to run the ball the best they can. I think Ollie Gordon is probably going to get a good run today as well, just because of the weather. And I think they're going to try to, utilize him. Right now, Browns are one of the best against the run. So it's going to be a rough day for everybody for those games. I think it's going to be an interesting, grouping of games to watch. But those are the worst of the worst. Everywhere else is either in a dome or in good weather. So we got, those games you don't have to really worry too much about when it comes to that. Coin flips for those. I think the biggest question marks that we have, like I said, Josh Jacobs, we'll have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. It looks very unsure. A lot of reports are going true game time decision, which is really not, like, we're not used to that. Normally they're very good at going, yeah, no, he's playing, or, you get to see, Ian and Adam go expected or not expected. They're all saying true game time. So that's new. The fact that we found out, just minutes ago about the fact that Mike Evans and Mbuka have a good opportunity to play this coming Monday night is actually quite, I'm actually a little shocked by that. A lot of reports yesterday said that wasn't the case. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Monday night, I can't predict this far ahead. They were practicing on Friday in one capacity or another. It looks like they were both limited. I don't know. I can't tell you to play one or the other. I'd be very nervous playing one of the two, just because the situation in general. Right now, Lions are favored by 6 in that game. That hasn't really, the needle has only moved down since Friday. In that case, it went from 4.5 to 6. Point total went up a little bit. That's more probably because they heard about Evans, but it's only by 0.5, so it's not like it's the end of the world. Let me just So I would be cautiously optimistic, but it's one of those things where I'm probably not going to play either or. Re-aggravation's high, at least for Mbuka, if he's active. I kind of want to see what happens in that situation. I'm a little surprised that they're playing him with the bye being so close. I would think that they would want to wait on the bye, try to wait until after the bye to active, get him back out there. They do have, some young guys that can really help. We saw that last week with Tez Johnson and Cam Johnson. So both were able to be involved and both scored touchdowns, and, Baker can spread the ball out. So I think him and Baker. Wait, who was I looking at before? There were two stats I was looking. Oh, adjusted completion percentage. No, that wasn't the one. It was ADOT. Right now, currently, like Mayfield, out of the guys that have played at least 6 games, because let's be clear. Sam Darnold's number 1, Stafford is 2, and Baker is 3, with a ADOT of 8.9. That's really good. So sadness is life. Jacoby Myers currently is a game time decision. They have not said anything. He is out on the practice field. They were showing him warming up. He, like I said, is a true game time decision. We won't know for another 10 minutes. I haven't really heard anything otherwise. I'm still waiting to get an idea if he is playing. I would assume he doesn't, and even if he does, I would think he's limited. So let's read the full report from Adam Schefter. So despite both wide receivers being listed as questionable for Monday night's game at Detroit, Mike Evans is likely to play, and Mbuka has a real chance to play despite suffering low-grade hamstring injury, as per sources. Bucs will not decide on Mbuka until pregame. So it looks like Mike Evans is going to play. Okay. Looks like Landon Dickerson is back out there too. Like I said, I haven't seen anything about Jacoby. I'm still waiting, other than the report that shows him warming up currently. Lindsay 30. I don't know how to pronounce that. He's out there. Looks like. Hold on. So the Dolphins are making a change at their QB depth chart for today's game. Quentin Ewers will serve as the backup to Tua. That's kind of gross. Lander Dickerson is in uniform and will start at left guard, so that's good. And it looks like Jalen Carter is going to be active as well. It looks like Grady Jarrett is going to be active. Wait, he was expected to be active, but will now not be. Ooh, that's kind of big. Big for the at least for the Bears, or not for the Bears, for the Falcon, or no, for the Saints. That's kind of a big deal. Oh, nope, nothing there. Man, Trevor Lawrence having a rough day today. Really rough day. Sorry for those that are in the in our Discord that I haven't been able to post these things. It's kind of hard to do 15 things at once. I always encourage people in the Discord, if you're going to be here, make sure you guys are, if you're going to want to know about updates on players, to definitely watch me on Sunday morning. It's just the easiest way to get your answer. I do post throughout the day, throughout the week, with about, injuries and things like that. So make sure you guys check out our Discord, which is listed below. I consistently keep up with everything, and I try to be quicker than Sleeper, which I know a lot of people get their news from, and even from Twitter. But I do my best to make sure that you guys get that information first. I want you guys to have that information before your teammates. I tend to get it before a lot of guys, but some people beat me. Oh, almost a really good catch by Brian Thomas Jr. That was almost a really nice catch. Curl did a really good job, but it looks like it's going to be pass interference on Curl. Or holding. Yeah, same concept. First down, 15 yards. All right, that one's getting updated. Still waiting on guys like Jacoby Myers. He's the main guy to look at for today. Like I said, there's a lot of questionable tags for guys that are playing outside of the 1 o'clock games. There's only really one or two for the 1 o'clock. So just waiting to hear on those. Make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat if you haven't already, just so that I can, answer your questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to be sitting here talking to myself. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This game is gross so far. Jonathan Smith, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes, do I play Sutton or Diggs? Then who do I play, Mason and the loser of that pick? Full PPR. Honestly, I like both. I really like both Sutton and Diggs today. I prefer Sutton over Diggs just because of the matchup against the Giants. I think he can have a really good day today in general. Diggs, I don't hate the matchup either against the Titans. I think they're both pretty good. Full PPR, I'd probably prefer the two of them over Mason, just because of the nature of what Mason is. He's a downhill runner. He'll get a lot of the, he'll get 20 plus touches, of course. But a lot of it, I could see his stat score being, 20 for 60 and, maybe a touchdown, but he's not going to be involved in the passing game. And that's where the issues lie for full PPR. Jalen Carter is back. Jordan Davis is healthy. Like, their line is better. I would be a little less optimistic about him, and I'd probably be a little bit more on Diggs in general. Diggs has been doing well as of late. Let me just get numbers so I don't talk out my butt. But from what I remember, He has been doing incredibly well. He went 7-5-3. He's averaging about six targets a game, roughly, going against the Titans, who are probably one of the worst right now. Let me just look up something real quick. I think they run about 32% man coverage, which, tends to do well. Let's see. I do think. Let me just check New England real quick. I'm pretty sure Diggs does well against zone coverage. Yeah, Diggs does very well against zone coverage. I like that a little bit. I'm gonna go with Sutton and Diggs, and just it. Like I said, if the guy that would be on like the cusp, like the if you were unsure, it would be Mason and Diggs. I would, I'm in between on those two, but I feel a little stronger about Diggs in this matchup. They are favored. That's the only downside. Pittsburgh's favored in the other one, so that means they could be down. And they could be throwing the ball. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with Diggs. Sadness is life. How do you feel about Ingram at tight end, full PPR? I mean, no problem, John. I don't hate him today. I think it's a good, you want to use the revenge narrative against the Giants. It's at Denver. They're favored by 8.5. It's only going up. The over-under is only 40.5, which is kind of gross. But I don't hate him today. He's been a lot more involved as of late, and it makes things a lot better for him moving forward. They could just load up Dobbs and run him. Giants are easily beatable on the ground. So I think a lot of teams try to take advantage of that. He's been ramped up in targets, 766 the last 3 weeks, averaging 5 targets a game. I do like that a lot more. I think this is a game where you could utilize him and he could do well. So I'm gonna say, I feel okay about it. He's probably more of a low end tight end 1, high end tight end 2 than a high end tight end 1. So John goes, would you play Herbert or Caleb? Unfortunately, that's a sad question to be asking at this point. Not, most of the time I would be telling you to play Justin Herbert. I think I'm going to still do that. Right now, Herbert's had only one top 5 finish, and Caleb has only had one as well. Looking at the numbers, Herbert's been able to run the ball. I think his biggest problem has been the fact that he hasn't had Joel Alt on the left, and that's been hurting their particular production. I think this game versus the Colts is going to be a fun one, to say the least. But I do think Herbert is a good option. He's finished at least top 12, finished top 12 twice, top 15 twice, and then otherwise has been, kind of miserable. But he is getting Quentin Johnston back. He is getting, just pieces to help him. And Vidal has been, surging. I'm not a big fan of Caleb, and especially with the game, with the wind and all the crap that's going to be happening there. I'd rather have the guy in the dome, to be quite honest. So I think I'm going to be going Herbert for this one. What up, the Schmitty? He goes, McManus, Gay, or Fairbairn? I think I had you having Gay last time we spoke. I think we're going to stick with Gay in this particular situation. They're in a dome. I'd rather have the guy in the dome at this point. That's a fumble. Oh, they're going to give him that? Whatever. Never know what a fumble is anymore. I don't mind McManus, but he has been dealing with injury as of late. I mean, he's probably going to play. There hasn't been any indication that he doesn't. Better offense as a whole. I do think the biggest caveat is that right now the Commanders currently don't really have anything to move the ball downfield, which scares me a little bit, which means they're not going to be in field goal range in most situations, unless, Jalen Daniels can get them in that type of scenario. Gay is not Aubrey. He cannot bomb it from 60 and be accurate. He's better from 50-ish, from that 50-52 section, and he's much more accurate from 40. So they have to at least get it to the 30 just to be even usable. Fairbairn is a little bit better at 50 or better, but at the end of the day, they're going against Seattle. Seattle's been pretty good in general. I am less likely to want to play Fairbairn just because of the fact that it's outdoors. We don't know what's going on, but he's probably the better kicker of these. Like I said, the coin flip for me is that they're indoors, so I'd rather have that. So Jonathan goes, also, I heard the weather in Cleveland is going to be horrible. What does that mean for Junkins? Wonderful things. Wonderful. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. They're going to run the ball. They're going to have a good time. They're going to run against one of the worst defenses against the run in the league. I have no problem playing Junkins today. He is actually my running back 5 on the week in my rankings. I moved him up. He is considerably better in this situation. I almost want him in the top. I almost put him as my RB1, but it's hard to kind of pass up guys like Taylor, Gibbs, McCaffrey, and Bijan. I definitely put him in that 5 spot. Anybody that has faced Miami this year has been in the top 5. Feel comfortable, especially in the weather. The weather only adds to it because it goes from 20 touches to 30. So it's definitely going to help. No, not Adams again. Oh, thank God. All right. Rams just got shut down on their 40-ish. What was that there? Yeah, the 49. I don't know why they're not utilizing Winnington underneath. Oh, he just broke his ankle. Let that play develop. And they're going to say that Travis Hunter made that play happen. I don't think so. Anyway. But yeah, be comfortable. You'll be fine. Pittman or Addison? Gross. I like Addison today. I just it's more of a feeling than an actual analytical thing. Pittman's been doing real well as of late. Not gonna lie, I get it. Going against the Chargers, they're getting Khalil Mack back. Their line is a little beat up, but not crazy. I do have Pittman ranked higher, just by a smidge though, 24 or 27. I just like the matchup. I think they're going to keep Mitchell on Jefferson, which opens things up for Addison a little more. I like Carson Wentz being out there, so I feel comfortable with it, but it's hard to ignore what, Daniel Jones has been doing with Pittman as of late. Let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at the wide receiver positions and how they've been doing the last few weeks. Michael Pittman's only had 2 games within the top 15 finishes. Otherwise, he's been underproducing, if you will. Addison, on the other hand, he hasn't played as much, so I gotta. Sorry, I have to scroll a little bit to find him. Just to find his numbers. He was 21 finishes in wide receiver 21 and 19. That's not bad. I think I'm just going to lean Addison for now. I like his situation a little better, even though Pittman is there. I think they're going to utilize what's his face, Jonathan Taylor, a lot more than they normally do. So I'm just not high on Pittman as much as I am Addison. So I'm going to go Addison. Jonathan Smith goes, I need 20 from Junkins and Barkley. Bench Chase Brown for Sutton in my flex. Oh, that stinks. A lot of people did, man. You're not the only one. I had a bunch of buddies that I was talking with on Thursday night and during my softball game, and a lot of them were like, yeah, I benched Chase Brown. He's having a horrible year. Like, so they all kind of pivoted to do something else. I think you can easily get 20 from Junkins and Barkley. I think that's more than, reasonable. The hard part is actually Barkley comparatively to Junkins. I actually think Junkins can have a really good day. Barkley has been underperforming in general. Big throw. Oh, great throw finally gets a good throw, Trevor Lawrence, to De'Ami Brown. Deep bomb, but Brown's having a rough time. Let's see if he can get up. Yeah, he's going to slow the play down. Yeah, he's down. Definitely twisted something. That field has been real gross today. There've been a lot of slipping and falling on this field. It's been wet. It's been gross. Ooh, his leg got locked behind him. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think he'll be all right. But he did make the catch. So, big 40-yard pass. Jonathan goes, got Bo Nix, Junkins, Brees, Rice, Sutton, QJ, Fannin, and Dolphins defense for my FanDuel lineup. I don't hate it. I really don't. I really do like it. The only caveat that I'll put is the Dolphins defense. I don't like playing it well, for any type of league, but I don't like playing, especially for DFS. I don't like having one of my players facing off against the defense that I currently have in. Reason being, my 6 points that I get from Junkins gets taken down to 3. So it really doesn't help me to have it being against the defense that I have in. I would rather get, I know Cleveland's probably about 100, way higher than most in FanDuel. I would have to double check the numbers in general, but I'm assuming much, much higher. I would aim for maybe the Patriots. Oh, if the Browns are available and you can afford them, yeah. Yes. The answer is yes. Yes, 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 yes. 100 times yes. I'd rather have the Browns defense 9 times out of 10 in general if I'm facing this group. They are much better pass rush. The O-line for the Dolphins is horrible. I would be surprised if the Dolphins are able to move the ball at all. They're not good going up north. They're not good playing in bad weather. They're not good anywhere. They've been having a lot of trouble lately in general. So yeah, if you're going with the same price, you're going with the Browns. You're not going to be using I would not be using them in general. Also, the only other caveat that I would have is Fannin. I love Fannin. Not going to try to persuade you, but it's really tough to be playing with a group where you have the running back and tight end. If one gets destroyed, like if one gets blown up to the point where they're not usable, then you're only getting half those points when you could be going, diversifying to another group, and you would have a better opportunity to do well. So I don't know who you have available that are around the same price as Fannin, but I would probably kind of try to pivot from Fannin just because I don't want to have Junkins and Fannin from the same lineup. It's just not, unless the team is real, because this team, especially for the Browns, are not a high-scoring, crazy team. If it was like a team like the Rams or a team like the Detroit Lions or something like that, like the teams that put up a ridiculous amount of number, just big numbers at all costs, like then I'd be a little bit more inclined to tell you it's okay. But I just don't like playing the same grouping in the same, situations. If you're saying Henry's not a bad choice either. I like him a lot. They've been utilizing him anywhere that they can. So I don't hate Hunter. Fannin's probably a better choice just because of their situation. But like I said, it's really hard for me to play guys on the same team because, like I said, it just limits what I can do. It just holds me back when I could be doing more. That's all. I would try to find guys like, Because if you're going Fannin, I'm assuming. See, this is where I wish I brought this up. Usually I do a DFS value show during this, but it's hard to do during the Sunday or the Sunday morning games just because they don't. It doesn't help because they tend to take up a lot of the time because a lot of people don't come and watch me, which is completely understandable. I would rather be watching that game too. So, you don't have any issues with me. Why aren't I getting any updates? All right. Well, Stephon Diggs is active. So is Stephon Diggs. Of course, I don't get the activations. Oh, there we go. DeAndre Swift, Stephon Diggs, and it looks like Jacoby Myers is inactive. So those that are listening that were looking about Jacoby, he is inactive. Jacoby Myers. So who wanted to know about that? Sadness is life. You're still there. Jacoby Myers is inactive today. Be aware of that. Zach Wilson is Cedric Wilson is out. Garrett Wilson's out. We already knew about that. Stephon Diggs is active. Calvin Ridley, we already knew about. Yeah. So, got caught up on that. Sorry about that. Normally, my phone was a lot quicker than that. This is why they need to upgrade their PC model. So I'm just trying to get to a contest to give you a better understanding of who might be available in that spot that you could go for instead of using Fannin if I had to. So let's look at the tight end. Let's look at Fannin. You got Hawkinson, Juwan Johnson, Gatson, Theo. Oh, I'd go Zach Ertz. Love the Zach Ertz pick today for you there, Jonathan. Zach Ertz is in a good spot for you. Evan Ingram's in a good spot for you. Cole Kmet could be in a good spot. Kind of opens things up a little bit for you money-wise, too. You go from spending the 55 to 51, opens things up for anything else that you might use. Love the lineup otherwise. I like Rice, Brees. I like that whole thing. Maybe it can up your boat, 400 for Bo Nix would give you I can almost get you Daniel Jones you don't want Jackson Dart today. No, so I like that. Even with Bo Nix right there, you're good. I mean, like I said, I think that I think Zach Ertz would probably be the best bet for you, just from the price range. So sadness, if you didn't hear, Jacoby Myers, inactive. So get good old Jacoby out of your lineup. I didn't really have him in any lineups today anyway. Kind of figured he'd be out. Brock Bowers is also inactive, which you already kind of knew about in advance. Jalen Coker is officially active for those that care. You're asking Kraft or Goddard, full tight end, full PPR. I like both. Goddard's been pretty heavily used. As of late, they are getting back some wide receiver options in Green Bay. I think that the game versus the Eagles is going to be tighter, which means this game might need to use more of they just might tighter games make it more where I want to be involved with the pass catcher comparatively to the Packers, who are favored by 7. So I might lean Goddard, even though I like Kraft better, if that makes sense. I'd rather have the guy that I know that's going to be heavily involved because of the fact that it's a tighter game and that they're going to have to throw the ball to be, to stay active. He's pretty involved tight end wise. Let me just get my number real quick. He has been so far he's getting at least averaging 6 targets a game, 9 and 11 the last 2 games. It's pretty good. But you want to look at Green Bay and how he's been doing target wise and being involved. He's only averaging 4 targets a game. I like Goddard just a smidge more. So I'm going to go Goddard in full PPR. What up, Patrick? Great to have you here today. Yo, 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 Big Blue. Let's keep this energy going. Hey, man, I'm excited. Can't wait. 4:00 game, which is always rough for Giants fans because we're always so used to them being at 1. But at the end of the day, really excited. Patrick goes, so Chris Moore or Pittman and Kraft or Kittle? It's hard to not play Pittman, my friend. I would probably prefer playing Pittman. It's a tougher matchup for him. But Chris Moore to me is hard to play as a last minute pickup. I don't hate him. I just don't have him ranked high just because of the fact that I would rather be playing so many other guys than him today. Dallas is a great matchup. He is the only other guy in the field. He is probably going to lead them. A lot of people keep leaning McCaffrey. A lot of them, keep leading Lane. A lot of them keep leaning Zach Ertz. There are just so many unknowns. I'd rather have Pittman, who is a little bit more involved in their particular offense and has been doing well as of late. Just looking at his usage numbers in general, I don't understand why they don't just keep running Kyron. Blake Corum doesn't look good comparatively. He's averaging 6 targets a game, which is good, 6.3. I'm going to be going with Pittman for sure. And then you go, now that Bowers is out, Trey Tucker or Ertz. Oh, I forgot to answer this one. Kraft or Kittle? I'm going to go Kraft. I prefer the guy that's healthy here over the guy that's coming back from injury. Yes, it's Monday night, or yes, it's Sunday Night Football against the Falcons. Falcons are one of the best teams against tight ends. Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons are probably 2 of the best safeties, like safety combos out there. Really is. Comparatively, you want to use, like Kyle Hamilton and Mark Starks. Sure. But I'm telling you, Simmons and him do a really good job together. I'm going to go Kraft for this one. I want to see what Kittle can do coming back, and especially next week being tight ends week. I want that over the unknown of big throw, and of course, not going to Winnington. Well, I'm going to get crucified for that one, at least by my friends. Now that Bowers is out, Trey Tucker or Zach Ertz? I like Zach Ertz a lot better. He's just the better target. Indoors, I'm not worrying too much about anything. Outdoors versus the Chiefs. I just don't trust him against the Chiefs, Trey Tucker. I'd rather have Ertz overall. I already answered that. Yeah, it's definitely Kraft. I'm just going to play Kraft. It just makes more sense. I want to know what's going to happen to Kittle. I have Kittle in a couple of leagues where I have like Sam Laporta and Trey McBride and so on and so forth. I'm rather play all the I have a situation where I need to play flex spots, like my tight ends as flexes. I don't want to start Kittle. Now, will I play Kittle if Josh Jacobs is out? Yes, I have to. I have no choice. But I have a choice, but I might have to play him over a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson, who's going to be having Patrick Surtain all day. So for me, I feel more comfortable in that scenario where I'm forced to play him. If I'm not forced and I have an option, Kraft is the guy. Sadness is life. He goes with Chuba Hubbard back. How does Rico Dowdle do? We talked about this a little bit on the Friday show. I feel like it's going to be a 60-40 split battle. And I think it's really, they still say that it's unpredictable, that they're going to be splitting carries at this point. They're going to try to keep it even. I think it's going to be more of a 60-40 split. It's kind of hard to stop a guy that's been on fire. The guy has more rushing yards than most teams do currently at this point in the year. Like, he's got over 400 plus yards. I think he has like 500 plus yards in 2 games comparatively to anybody else. And I think that's total yardage, but still, he has more total yardage than some teams do because he's just been so good the last few weeks. Hubbard hasn't been doing what Dowdle has been doing in that lineup. I think they're going to try to utilize both. I think they're going to ease Hubbard back in, which would mean a 60-40. For me, I rather have Dottle. But I understand it's tough. I have Dottle out in a couple leagues, but I have to play him in a few. It's really based on your scenario and who you can put in, who you can't. Patrick goes, I missed that. Trey Tucker or Ertz. I would go Ertz. I don't like playing tight ends in my flex unless I have to. Ertz is the rare exception to that rule, just because of the scenario that's going on with Washington currently. They're in a bad situation, going to guys that haven't really touched the ball a ton, not heavily involved as they should be. And at this point, I rather have that. Ertz has been averaging 4 targets a game, got 6 last week. The only dud is of 1 that he had in week 5. Other than that, he's been averaging at least 4 to 5 targets a game. I don't hate that. Trey Tucker has a higher ceiling for sure. So it's one of those scenarios that if you're down, like if you play Chase or you play Chase and Devontae Adams, let's just say you're facing Chase and Devontae Adams today. You're playing Trey Tucker. You need the ceiling. You need to be able to win. If you are up currently and you had Chase and Devontae Adams, you're playing Ertz. You're being safe. You're getting the points you need and doing better. Like, that's how I play. So that's my only caveat to that. I just like Ertz a little bit better. Oh, you had Higgins on the bench. That's tough, man. A lot of people did. A lot of people were unsure about Joe Flacco against the Steelers. I was one of them. I'm not going to lie. You know, that was a really interesting game to see. I was really happy that it happened the way it did, just because of the scenario. I'm rooting for Joe Flacco, hoping Joe has always been one of those guys that I've just always rooted for in one way or another. I always root for the older quarterbacks. Sadness goes Dottle or Addison. I'm assuming this is full PPR. If it's full PPR, I might lean Addison just because of the concept of full PPR. Dottle is involved in one way or another. But with the split, I mean, they're both essentially getting split here. Yeah, I think I'm going to lean Addison if it's full PPR. If it's half or anything lower, it's Dottle. That's my caveat. And, Jets, to give them the credit where credit is due, last 3 games, let's just get an idea of the last 3 games that they have played. Jets are 23rd. They rank 23rd in general of DVOA. Let's see. They are currently, 23rd in the league against the run. I might lean Dottle, actually, after looking at this a little more. Yeah. Yeah. I like Dottle. I like the guy. It's hard for me to play him in some situations. Addison, though, like I said, he's just been on fire. He's at least had 2 finishes, within the 24. He's been a wide receiver 2 the last few weeks. Even with this last game that he played, he was out for a whole quarter, and he still finished with a really good, outcome. Dottle, on the other hand, has just been on fire. It's hard to not start him, but with Chuba behind him, it's kind of hard it's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah. We still have 2 international games? Jesus. NFL, come on. Do you hate the Sunday morning cruise of fantasy football? I think you do. I think you are currently really just messing all of that up for us. We just want to be heard on Sunday morning. This is my time, not your time. I'm only kidding. Still 21-20. Jags had to kick the ball. Looks like the Rams are getting the ball first and 10 on the 16-yard. They're 16. We need some more passes to Winnington. That'd be fantastic. Blake Corum getting the ball, splitting carries with Kyron Williams. Kind of sucks. Really sucks. Played Winnington in a few situations that I had no choice. Well, didn't have a choice. It was him or it was either him or Sterling Shepard, and I went with him. Losing Purcell has hurt dramatically. Really been killing my team so far. Trying to make some trades currently, and manager is unwilling to do so. So we have to wait and see how that goes. Can we just give the ball to Kyron if you're going to run it? What's the point of running Blake Corman, who just keeps getting stuffed at the line and probably one of the worst rushers this year? Just I don't get it. It's just upsetting. Oh, there he is. Of course, you bring him in on third down. Anyway, keep throwing those questions in the chat if you guys have any. I am here to answer those questions. Like I said, Jacoby Myers is out today. We got Stephon Diggs active. We got a few other guys active as well that we were waiting on, but the big news of Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers, both of them are out today and inactive. The big thing in this game today has been a lot of passes to the tight end. I'm a little shocked by it, Stafford, but I get the Higbee, but he's been going to every other tight end throw at this point. It's a little upsetting. Kind of want him, I thought they would be involving Winnington in one way or another. Just he fills in a lot more, and he's a very versatile wide receiver. He did well the last few times that he's been playing. I think it's mostly the I guess it has to be more the game script at this point. They're up 21-0. Like, what's the point of throwing him the ball? They're going to just run, pass. Just easier. Makes sense. Play defense. So, stinks. I failed myself. Bad management issues in that situation. Thought he'd do a lot better. But you live and learn, my friends. You live and learn. You just want Puka back. Puka won't be there next week. He will be there the following week. They said he's looking good. Should be back after the bye. Still waiting to hear on guys like Mbuka, who looks like he could play. But Mbuka is one of those players that I'm hoping they don't. I just don't want them to be. I don't want to rush him out too quick. That was a crazy stat. Jags have over 227 yards of offense, yet are losing. And they have more yardage than the Rams do and are losing by 21 points. I don't know how that's possible. How do you have more yardage and less points? That's a new one for me. They both have the same rushing yards, both at 60. Jaguars have 227 yards 227 yards passing, and while the Rams only have 167. So interesting. This would break up the NFC West a little bit, make the Rams 5-2 right now. So we'll wait and see how that goes. Jaguars will be 4-3, bringing them down. Well, not really, because unless they're going to stay in second, unless the Texans do something incredible. But it looks like, they're still a game behind either way. So they still can't get Brian push off. That is a offensive pass interference if I haven't seen one. Are you kidding me? They didn't call that? That was offensive pass interference by a mile. It's not even like, and he's hurt. Yeah, looks like BTJ just got hurt after that pass interference, false start penalty. They'll probably put the camera back on him. He's just BTJ is not looking the same. Not looking the same. Drafted him in a few spots, but it looks like he's dealing with his wrist. Or no, it's his ankle, it looks like. Right ankle injury. He was kind of playing with his upper part of his ankle too, so high ankle sprain does not bode well for BTJ. Parker Washington looks like he'll be a very big ad this week if you didn't already drop him. Yeah, because Parker Washington's been heavily involved in this game in general. Let's get you the stats real quick. He has been, Parker currently has 3 catches. He's got 7 targets on the day. That's huge. 7 targets. They have been getting Travis Hunter a lot more involved, 9 targets today. So just something to keep an eye on. If BTJ is out, Parker Washington would take a big step. So just a bad offense. That's the problem. Make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. If I don't see anything for the next 5 minutes or so, I might wrap things up. I just want to, I want to be here for you guys. I don't want to sit here and just spout nonsense for, a couple hours. Believe me, for those that know me well enough, I don't mind doing it, but I got other things I can do at this point. Make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy if you haven't already. Please use the promo code GETRIGHT. They have a promo out currently. Play 5, get 50. They will help you with that. They, at this point, it's for Pick'em, and one of the best things out there currently is Boosttober. So every day they have some type of promo out there for you. So make sure you guys are checking out Underdog Fantasy, one of the best out there. Really enjoy using them when I can. So check out Underdog Fantasy using promo code GETRIGHT. Also check out and make sure you guys, if you aren't already, make sure you guys and like and subscribe to the show. Always appreciate a like and subscribe. Want to make sure that we get this, channel up there in the algorithm. The more likes we get, the more subs we get as well. Really helps out the channel. Also check out our affiliate channels as well, the Fantasy Football Tavern and the Extra Point with Phil, who I had on Friday, as well as Kendall for his channel as well. Also, we'll throw in Tycoon as well. He's been taking a little hiatus. Needs to get his life back together. Try to, take a break from the fantasy world, which I don't blame him. So now, just still make sure you guys subscribe to him. Always a really good info. I have the privilege of being a good friend of his and talking to him. So really like his advice. So make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to his show. All righty. With that being said, thank you all for joining me today. Really enjoy the participation today, even during a kind of a blowout in the Sunday morning game, which is fine. But really great to have everybody here. Hope everybody enjoys our other shows. We're going to be here Monday with Frank doing the waiver wire show. Tuesday with Dynasty stuff with Phil and or Kendall. Both could be here. Both will most likely be here. And then Frank on Wednesday, and then me on Friday nights, and me on Sunday mornings. I will not be here next Sunday. Like I said, I'm going to be doing something for my dad who recently passed. We're going to be spreading his ashes up in New York. So I will not be here next Sunday. Very questionable. Very questionable for Friday night as well. I need to be up very early on Saturday morning, so we will see how that goes. But otherwise, I will be back the week after that for sure. So good luck to everybody today in your fantasy matchups in week 7, unless you're facing me. I'll see you guys in a few weeks. Peace.
White fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune every Friday. Strategies provide.